Hi, this is Terry Glaze, and you're listening to Drag the Waters
with Joshua.
It looks fantastic. Got the Pantera Platinum in the background. Love it.
Yeah, I got Vinny's hat right here too.
Nice.
That's Vinny's hat, and I got my CF8. So yeah, I'm fucking got my Pantera.
Got my tattoo.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I got it on my hand too, man. Where is it? There.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah. Where's the camera? Oh, it's on that side. And then I got the 333
nice.
Also on my hand. I don't know how you can see it. There it is. All right.
Good times, man. Well, let's get into it, man.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's welcome Jose Mangin, the metal ambassador, SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, Octane, all the great stuff, man. Jose, how have you been?
Fucking A, brother, dude. Good to see you here. I'm glad to be back on for my second hang with you. And dude, everything's been cool, man. Just busy on the radio, and then taking care of the family. I got the 2 teenage daughters here. They're upstairs doing the online schooling, and just I clean a lot. I'm a better cleaner. I'm starting to like cook and do things that I never did before. So yeah, no, it's good, man. I'm taking care of my dog, who, by the way, his name is Rocky Dimebag. So
there we go.
I'm always saying those words. Yeah, but we're good over here, man. So what about you? How are you? Where are you at right now? Where are you?
I still live right outside Louisville. You know,
okay.
Moved up here years ago for Primer 55, but stayed and you know, got the family and all that stuff going on.
Nice. Very cool, man. We'll say what's up to Kentucky from me.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Before we dive into the Pantera talk, let's talk about this Metallica interview you did. And just, I loved how nervous you were for that. And the fact that you still get nervous after all these years. It was amazing, man. You sweat through a shirt and everything else, man. It was awesome.
Sorry. Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. There was I got a phone call in the middle of that. Sorry, I heard every word you said. We're still good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, dude, that Metallica interview, I mean, it was extra nerve-wracking, brother, because there were so many people that were involved with it and watching it, and all these different departments. Normally when I do an interview for SiriusXM or for anybody, there's really nobody on except for the people that are there. I don't have like hundreds of people watching.
Right.
But for this one, it was a big deal for our company. And yeah, man, I start to panic. When I do interviews, I mean, any interview, I still get a little, you know, a little normally nervous for anything. Yeah. Just it's just natural, normal for me. But when it's Metallica, it's a different level because out of all the people that I've been able to interview and hang out in life with, Metallica is still the ultimate. Oh, and James Hetfield still, I freak out a little bit. You know, I'm very comfortable with, you know, the dudes from Pantera and Ozzy and Rob Halford and Dave Mustaine. But, you know, that freaking Hetfield character, man, I see him and I saw his face and I heard his voice and all of a sudden I was like,
you're like 13 years old again.
Yeah, dude, I was freaking out. My hands were sweaty. I had this one shirt on. And now everything is a Zoom thing, because if I was in a studio with the guys, I wouldn't have changed shirts, you know, but right in front of them. At least I don't think. But because it was this Zoom thing, and I was sitting at I have a real bad sweaty armpit problem. I've had it for years, and it just was pouring out of my skin. And I saw on this camera here, all I could see were big, black, freaking huge wet stains. And it was like so wet that it started to come to the front of my shirt. And so I was like, oh my God, Metallica, we're about to start in a minute. And I'm so freaking out and I'm so wet. And I was smart and I brought an extra shirt and I was like, hey guys, real quick, let me change. And it was on camera. They were cracking up laughing. And that's how the interview started. So it kind of started off on a really cool note, just to see there and hear, because I was changing. I could just hear them laughing and commenting and saying funny things like, oh, James said something like, oh, Kurt, you take your shirt off, man. I never see Kurt with the shirt on, you know? And it's like, so Kurt Jose, the shirtless interview. I was like, well, come on, Kurt, you know? So it was just cool. And then the fact that they the interview went really well, and it was funny and it was cool, and so much stuff that you want to talk about with these guys, and there's so many different tangents that I could have gone down, some personal, some other things, and I just know that I have a time limit, and I know that they said, okay, this is how much time. They gave me double the time than we had scheduled for. But so there's a lot of people listening, and it was also a time where I had to submit my questions in advance to people. Like, when do you have to do that?
I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to do that for stuff like this, for big deal interviews where people, they're like, this is how much time they're giving us. Don't mess up, Jose. Don't get all this. You know what I mean? Like, you got this? And I was just like, yes. But still, 20 years at the company. And it was almost around my 20th anniversary when I did that interview as well. So I still get nervous as hell. And thanks for talking about that. It was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done in life, man. So
yeah, it was fun to see the raw video they put out of it, and you seeing you just getting. I loved it, man. It was so cool to see, and it's funny you talking about. I don't ever have to submit questions, but there are definitely a lot of times where my shows will get some blabbermouth headlines and things like that.
Yep.
So the publicist will hit me up and be like, "We know you get the dirt. Try not to get the dirt," or something, or don't talk about this ex-member or this certain thing or something. I'll respect that.
And I've always respected that over the years. And for me, I've always tried to come at it from a positive point of view. I definitely am not looking for that kind of stuff,
right?
Because I know that the dudes are going to come back and they're going to be like, oh, that one time you harped on me about this, ex-member or whatever, and then I'll be like, I was just doing it, But I want to keep it kind of cool and clean for these dudes, and try not to get controversial with this kind of stuff, because it can. And there's actually interviews that I've done before, dude, that I did not air. Because it was just, if I did, it would have just caused a lot of maybe damage, or maybe fans would have gotten really mad or something. And I was like, you know what? For the best of the band, I am not going to put this out, because maybe the dude wasn't in the good frame of mind when he did the interview. Maybe he was just fed up at that time, or maybe he wasn't thinking clearly and was saying things that he wouldn't normally say. And then nowadays you say something and it becomes, it's a headline. And even though that's not what it was, but it can go that way. So, man, I try to stay clear. But yeah, the fact that Metallica did post up that interview on their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, like the whole 41-minute interview, I was like, what the fuck? I remember I was driving my truck and I was just at a stoplight and I was just kind of cruising. I wasn't on my phone driving, but I was at a stoplight. And I just opened Instagram and there was fucking Metallica page and my fucking dumb ass. I was like, what the fuck? What? They posted it? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So yeah, that blew my mind. That blew my mind, man.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, honestly, through that whole record cycle, they really didn't do a lot of press. James did Joe Rogan and a couple of big things like that. So, for you to get that interview was a huge deal, kind of for the metal community and the metal, what do you call it? Journalists, community there.
Yeah, no, dude, I love those guys. We've done so much with Metallica at SiriusXM over the years, and I've hosted a lot of stuff for them and introduced them on stage, and just after all these decades, they know that where I'm coming from, right? And they know that I love them so much. I'm trying to get my daughter, or either one of my daughters, to marry Robert Trujillo's son, Ty Trujillo. And I'm serious about this, dude. See, the more I talk about it, it's
the arranged marriage. Yes.
Yeah, it's an arranged marriage. We've had it in contract for like 7 years now with Chloe and Roberto and my wife and I. So I'm just trying. So I have almost a 15-year-old next week and then an 18-year-old this summer. And Ty is like in between their ages. So Mai doesn't want to go out with the younger guy.
Nice.
And then Ava's still kind of too young, but she's growing up. So I was like, Ty, you can have any one of my daughters, dude. I mean, they're good. So they're beautiful. They're smart. You know where they've come from, dude. So yeah, I'm trying to start a I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. The you know, you could do like a reality show, you know, like make it into, you know, which one he wants to pick, or you know, or which one of them want to pick him. You know, you could go from either angle.
Dude, I want to do that so bad, and I would totally freaking do that. And I've already thought about stuff, and I've actually documented the first time that Maya and Ty met. And I even tried to get Maya to try out for Ty's new band with Slash's son and stuff when they lost their singer. And I saw it on the news, and I was like, hey, Ty, dude, what about my daughter? You know, like, hey, try her out as a vocalist, and hopefully they can just like, get closer. So I'm trying, man.
So you know what throws the whole show off though is when my 19-year-old daughter shows up and wrecks the whole party for you. So
stay away, bro. Stay away. I tell Chloe the same thing. I was like, keep all these other girls out of here. No. His eyes are only on Maya or Ava. So I'm trying. Let's see how long this lasts, though. But the contract is still a binding contract.
There we go. Well, let's dive into the drag the waters portion of this. And, you know, I know we've talked in the past about, you know, you meeting Dime. I've heard you tell that story 1,000 times. So we don't need to really dive into that. But I do want to dive into this limo. And, you know, you were storing Vinny's limo. How did you get it? Where did it come from? You know, you've raised almost $40,000 for this thing. It's amazing.
Dude, check this out.
Nice.
I just took this off the other day. This is on the back of the limo, and it came with this. There's still a Texas spider web or something on there on the back right there, dangling. I swear. So this was on the back of the limo. Can you see it there?
Yeah, we got it.
Yep. And so this is it. I got the front one right there as well, and I got my California plates. I ordered personalized ones, but they're not going to come in for months. But anyways, so dude, the limousine. Okay, August, I get a call from the estate. Jake Lawson, who's helps out with Vinny's estate, dear friend of the band and of mine as well. Jake, security guard, tour manager for Seven Dust and Shinedown and, you know, Hell Yeah, and so many bands over the years. So Jake called me up one day and he was like, hey, we would like to see if you want Vinny's limo. And I was like, what? The fucking the famous Pantera limousine, the white limo that I partied in a bunch, and the one that he loved with everything. Yes, that one. They were selling his property in Vegas, getting rid of certain things like the home. They had sold the home, and they had this parked outside in the dirt lot for years. Vinny wanted to fix it up when he was alive, and him and Bride Dog went to a couple of places in Vegas. They went to a famous dude in Vegas who has a TV show, and this guy wanted to charge Vinny a lot of money. Obviously, they see Vinny, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some money. So they charged him a lot. I can tell you a price, $85,000.
Wow.
To fix this limo at that time. And Vinny was like, oh man, no way, that's fucking too expensive. So he didn't know what to do with it, so it just sat in his yard, baking in the Las Vegas sun, rotting in the Las Vegas sun. When Jake said, hey, do you want this limo? It's pretty beat up. And I was like, right away, I was like, yes. And then in my head, oh my God, what is my wife gonna say? Like we just bought a house in July, and that was, you know, that took everything. I mean, anybody that buys property, it takes everything you have to do that kind of shit. But we're laying roots here and we're not going anywhere. So we just got this. And so that a month later, in my head, I was like, oh my God, this is going to just cost so much fucking money. The first thing that came to my head was like, my wife is going to kill me. And I said, yes, I want to. They said, we think that you will be the one to love it, restore it, put care and love into it, and bring it back to life and do something cool with it. Make it available for fans. Smoke weed, party with people in it. Continue the legacy of what it is. And I said, with honor, I will fucking take this. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was like, I'll take it. Of course. You know, I didn't know how beat up it was. He sent me a video and some pictures, and I was like, oh, okay. And when I had to go the next month to pick it up, in Vegas. It didn't run. The wheels were disintegrated. And we had to drag it through the dirt, drag it through the pavement onto this trailer that barely fit on. You know, I tried getting people to come get this limo. They were like, we don't have, there's no way, because it's a long customized stretch limo. It's not a normal size limo. It's long. So to get that thing on there, dude, oh my God, they used a tow truck, and they used Bride Dog's bow and arrow archery target set, you know, like the padding, the hay.
Yeah.
And it was like a big one that he had outside. They used that as a pillow, and they put it on the bumper of the freaking limo, and there was the tow truck that was pushing it up onto the fucking thing, and they were using chains to try to get the motors, but they couldn't, because the wheels weren't spinning.
Right.
They were all like, they were flat and disintegrated, melted away. So it was a nightmare. I was like having anxiety attacks. I'm like, oh my God. But we finally got it. It took all day in the morning. And that was the couple days before they sold Vinny's house. So I was able to be inside the home there with Bride Dog, Jake. P. King was there, Vinny's longtime drum tech. And we were having some tequila. It was like 10 in the morning. And we were all talking and hanging, and they said, hey man, if there's a few things you want in the house, you know, go ahead. So I looked through the home, and I got a couple of things. You know, there's this poncho that I got a Vinnie Paul poncho that he wore in Halloween and stuff. So it still has like stains and stuff on it, and like, you know, it's like you can tell that it's been used. But I got Vinnie Paul's poncho that he used for Cinco de Mayo parties and stuff like that. I think he might have even dressed up 1 year for Halloween.
I feel like I've seen photos of him wearing that. Yeah.
Yes, this is it, dude. I also got this dime slime power strip, and don't ask me why, but
if I saw that, I would have to grab that. Yes.
Yeah, dude, it stood out. I'm like, what color is that? Like, I've never seen a power strip this fucking color before, and it's not painted. It's original, man. And I was like, what about this power strip? And they were like, dude, they were cracking up. They were like, you want that? I was like, I mean, it's fucking dime slime, dude. Yeah. So I got a bunch of this is from the kitchen drawer, the kitchen counter. This is some shot glasses that they use in the home. It's some hell yeah shot glasses. And then I got this Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, you got that.
The one that he would use next to the pool, and so he would fill. This is still like kind of like just dirty, just the way it was, you know. But he would fill it and use it for the pool. And also, what else did I get? Oh, and then I got this awesome Dallas Cowboy bottle opener that he had in his kitchen attached to the wall. And John came and unscrewed it for me and gave it to me. So I have Vinnie Paul's Dallas Cowboys bottle opener that I have right over here. So, yeah, so to the limo, we got it back to Long Beach. I have it stored in Long Beach. I had it there for a while. I hired a mobile mechanic to come and get it going, get it started, put some new or some used wheels on there, fix it up so that we can get it to run. So that took months and a lot of money. And then it was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And my friend Sonny was like, dude, because I was, you know, talking to him as my one of my best friends. I was like, dude, Sonny, I can't afford this. It's fucking, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. And he was like, dude, you got to start a GoFundMe, man. You know, you've never asked for anything. Fans love Vinny and Dimebag. They'll totally do this. And I was like, whoa, dude. But what if I did something cool where everybody that donated, I put their name somewhere in the limo? And then he was like, oh, that's fucking cool. So, and then other friends of mine, Edwin and Eddie, they were like, yeah, dude. And so what we just came up with was in the trunk, when it lifts up, everybody that's donated is going to have their name engraved, and like it's going to be lit up from behind and lit up from the front, so that like when I do park it at a concert or at a festival, and fans that did donate to it, you know, they can see it. It's going to be on display. Like, I want people to smoke weed in it. I want people to drink tequila inside this thing. You know, I want to take a cruise to the rainbow. I want to, you know, have this people to take black tooths in it. You know, I want this to be seen and loved, and people to stand in front of it and take pictures and stuff. Like, I want this to be a thing for all of us. And it was such a cool idea that Sonny had, and we made it even cooler. And dude, we raised pretty quickly. In a week, we kind of hit what we thought. And I didn't know how much it was going to cost. I just put 33 because, you know, we love 333s and 33s. And I was like, I don't know. And I just put it out there. And so fixing the engine was the one thing. But how rotted this thing was a complete different ball game. And we exposed the rot when I had this guy scrape the vinyl off the top of the limo, and then that's when it exposed these both sides, all along the entire sides, just rotted sheet metal, rotted insides, rotted tops, rotted everything. I took it to body shops. Body guys came over to look at it in the parking lot. They were like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. And people were just like, this is too much work, no way. And then I took it to a few people, and they just looked at it. They were like, and it was like, these were friends of friends. So they weren't strangers, right? But they were people that were told that they can help me. Oh, my friend owns a body shop, and this guy owns this body shop, and oh, they'll help you, Jose. And he's a big Pantera fan. I would take it over there. They'd be like, dude, we have no room, and there's no way that we can do this. This is going to be impossible. And so I kept getting rejected. 6 body shops saying no to it, man. It became like scary. And then I finally talked to somebody, and this dude helped build this original limo, helped customize it, because it was stretched in the end of the 90s in a place called Ultra Limo. I found out all this crazy shit in Corona, California. I did so much investigating.
Now you know way too much about limos.
Oh my God, dude. So, but this guy, there was a place that used to cut and stretch limos and then sell them to different parts of the country. Vinnie bought a limo that was customized in California. The guy that I ended up talking to was a guy that worked at the shop during that time and could have been a guy that worked on that very same limo. And now he owns his own place, and he loved the story. He saw the video of the GoFundMe on YouTube before I even ever contacted him. He knew who I was from that video. He's not a listener of SiriusXM. Right. He knows Pantera, but I showed him, and the guy was like, it was a Mexican dude, Enrique, so cool, very sincere, very wanting to help. He was like, if this was anybody else with, you know, these limos don't last this long. They're not supposed to last this long. That's why you don't see old limos on the road, because they can't pass the safety test, and no, they're not supposed to last that long. They die, they rot out. Everything has to be replaced, and it's just cheaper to buy a new limo.
Well, so technically, you probably also don't want a old limo to show up for like prom or a date night or something. You know, you want the newest of new. You don't want a 90s limo.
Exactly, man. So that's why there's not one on the road. And he was telling me the best thing to do is, and for the money that you have, is to buy a used limo, something that looks like it maybe, and pimp it out and call it a day. And I was like, dude, I can't do that, dude. That's not the point. You know, there's all these people that donated for this GoFundMe. Like, I can't do that, man. And he was like, Jose, it's so rotted. So he's like, any body shop that tells you that we can fix this, or that they can fix it, they can't. It has to be done over again completely. And he was showing me, he's pressing in, and you can see the inside rotted. So you can't put body work on top of rot. It's like if I have rotted 2x4s in the wall, I can't put freaking a new drywall on there, because eventually that shit's gonna it's not gonna hold. It's not gonna work. You can't attach shit to rot. So the dude was like, it has to be completely done over, from the wall, new walls, new ceiling. And I was about to cry because I was like, oh my God, because he was telling me how much he charges to cut and stretch limos for companies now. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, dude. And he was like, you should just get a used one, man. And I was like, I can't, man. I can't. What other options are there? And he was like, I'd have to build this over again completely. And everything, new electrical system, new condensers, new add a second alternator. It has to get to code. You have to have an escape hatch in limousines now in California. It has to pass all these safety certifications, all this shit. This guy's a certified dude to do that. So now I'm talking to a professional, someone that really knows about limos. Now after these 5-6 months of owning this limo, finally talked to the grand poobah, the main guy. And he was so helpful. And he was like, dude, I'm going to do this for you. And I'm not going to make money, but I have to build this over again. And I'm going to do it as a passion project to help you, Jose.
Wow.
And he said, I want to be a part of this history. Such a cool guy. He was telling me that he's built limousines for so many different celebrities and famous movie stars and athletes, but he's never had a chance to like interact with anybody. And the fact that I was here talking about Vinnie Paul, you know, somebody that he knows, and you know, and he was like, he loved the story. He was like, I just want to help you. And I got like fucking emo, and I was like, oh my God. And like, how much? And then he quoted me. I was like, oh my God, fuck. So I have to raise some more on that. I've already spent about $6,000 on the limo without even the beginning of this. So man, when I said 33, I was off by a little bit, but at least, you know, I mean, dude, he's charging me 50, you know, so that's a lot of fucking money, but he's going to rebuild the fucking limo. Yeah. And it's going to be, you know, a fucking like a new limousine, but it's going to be the same one. Yeah. And, you know, so yeah, man, it's insane how much time this is taking for me, how much hours and energy and, you know, that has gone into this already. It's like a new little part-time job that I have that I didn't know I was going to have. I barely have time to do shit, but to restore a 1997 limo is a massive project, especially since I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you know? And, I can't, you know, I wasn't in the game, in the business to restore a car ever in my life. Like I never would think that, but because this is a special case, dude. And I feel like I inherited this for a reason, and I want to make it cool. I mean, if somebody was doing this GoFundMe for the limousine in the same situation, I would have donated in an instant to have my name carved into that trunk hood. I mean, in an instant, you know, because of my love of that. And I know how much this limo meant to Vinny and Dime. I mean, they called it the hot rod, you know, the hot rod. And they would use it for everything. Vinny would go to the freaking restaurants and drive through freaking places. They must be really big drive-thrus in Texas, because there's no fucking way that I could fit that through a drive-thru over here. But yeah, man, he would just take it everywhere with him, and he would drive it himself, and then tell people like, oh, there's someone really famous in the back, and people would be like, really? Who? Well, I can't tell you, you know, that he's here on tour or something. So he would pretend like he was driving around somebody famous, and he drove that everywhere, man. I was in it. I remember at the right around the second Hell Yeah album, and he played me a bunch of demos. He used to use that limousine. It's fully fucking lined up with speakers. The whole back area. There's like fucking 10 speakers. It's insane. Right. And he would sit there and he would just blast shit so loud. And that's where he would say, okay, it's ready. You know, he would get the mixes, go to the limo, hear the new Hell Yeah stuff, and then come back and talk to the producer and be like, all right, guys, you know, let's do this. So it was his tuning room as well, in a big way. So, man, this is just a very special limousine. I can't wait to have some fans in there, smoking weed, cruising around. My friend Eddie from King, he's a sober dude, so I love tequila, so I'm not the guy to be driving the limousine around with a bunch of people in the back. Yeah, we'll smoke. Yeah, we'll drink. Come on, let's go to the next stop. So Eddie's gonna drive us, and we're gonna fucking, you know, party in it, man, when it's cool and safe to do so. But I want to do interviews in it. I want to pick up musicians from the airport, take them to their hotel room or wherever, and on the way they have to get a ride somehow. So
Right.
why not be with me in the back of the Pantera limo, do a fucking cool interview about the Abbott brothers and maybe their experience inside the limousine, and then drop them off, man. So I want to do a lot of cool shit with this. Obviously doing my radio shows from there, and just again, making it a public thing for people to enjoy. Eventually, I would love to donate it to a museum. I'm not a fan of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because they don't really believe in metal, but something like that, if there was something like that that I can donate this to later in life, you know, when I'm old and gray and I'm like, this needs to go somewhere cool, you know, or maybe I give it to the next metal ambassador or whatever. So shit like that, man. But I want to do this for all of us. And yeah, man, it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress. And but I have my family supporting me. Oh, and back to my original story. When I thought Melissa was going to get mad at me, I called her right away and I said, babe, I inherited Vinnie Paul's limousine. And then she was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I was like, really? But it's going to cost us a lot of money, babe. And she was like, I mean, we'll worry about it later, you know? I mean,
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I was like, oh. So when I had her support, and then my daughters were like, wow, that's freaking cool, you know? But once they've seen it, they're like so grossed out by it. Like, no, they won't even get in it. It's yeah, it's a looker. When I'm driving down these highways, man, people stare at that limousine. I've only got one honk and horn thrown at me. And it was because there's the Dimebag sticker on the back of the limousine. And then it says Pantera with a license plate, and it says Texas, you know? So if I'm driving down the freaking highway and I see a Dimebag sticker on a fucking old-ass Texas limousine, you know, I know what that is. And there was this one guy, it was a few weeks ago, I was driving, trying to get the smog test. I had to drive hundreds of miles, man. And this dude fucking pulled up next to me and beeped his horn and was fucking throwing his horns at me. And I was like, yeah, I was fucking throwing the horns back out. So only one person has recognized that vehicle on the streets, man. So, but you know what? We're a tight-knit family. And again, I'm over here in California, but, you know, Pantera fans are all over the world, man. So I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for my favorite band. And, I really hope to make this such a cool thing. I've got all these backstage passes that were stuck, stickers and stuff, passes that were stuck on the ceiling in the front and in the back, especially where Vinny sat right above his, where he would always sit, which it was his fucking seat. And there was passes all on the top right there. So I took all those out and I want to, you know, put those back into the limousine when it's done and sort of do some sort of customization with those passes and some other shit that I found as well, man. So yeah, dude. So this is it, man. I even found a discount tire receipt. This is from June 7th, 2011. And yeah, Vince Abbott and his address and his phone numbers, and he got what did he get here? I don't know. I found this and I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep this. Bolt pattern inflation. Looks like some tire stuff. Oh, installation, 2 valves, rotations, blah blah blah. So stuff like that. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a nerd with that, man. This is yeah. I mean, what would you know? I mean, this is insane to think of this. Yeah, so there's the long ass story of how that happened and the update. So there you go.
Yeah, if they called and said, "Hey, you can have Vinnie Paul's, you know, anything, it's going to be in my driveway," you know, and that's where you what is it? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah,
you know? Like, so
there's no way I can't park this at my house. Like I can't. There's no room. There's no space. So I'm parking it in a parking lot, a secure parking lot in Long Beach right now. A friend of mine owns it. It's a secure lot. So it's there, but it's there rusted, you know, when it's nice and cool, you know, I don't know where I'm going to put it. You know, maybe I have to pay for indoor storage, you know, monthly or something so that it doesn't get, you know, I'm going to definitely get a custom tarp for it just to protect it from the elements, because that's what fucked it up so much in the first place. It's just sun and rain beating down on it and it not moving. And the back of the limo is still in the last party mode that they had. Their cups are still in the cup holders. You know, there's stuff that's still there from the last party. I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
You know,
Need a hazmat suit for that thing.
I did. Well, I don't know if you saw my video where I was hunting for jizz in the back of Vinnie Paul's limo. I posted it up on YouTube and GoFundMe and on my socials, but it's a fun video. I do a black light and I have some jizz detector and I'm spraying spots but it's animated and it's funny. Like we weren't really trying to look for DNA, but you know, we still can. But I did tell Enrique, I was like, hey man, if you find like old drugs, you know, or old like condoms or something, you know, like put it in a box, save it for me. Like, don't throw that shit away. And I was telling him, like, what if you find something? Because, dude, in the seats, I don't know what somebody stashed in there, you know, 15 years ago. There could be some fucking cool shit in there. Right. So I just said, dude, hey, don't throw everything away. You know, let me put it in a box so I can just throw it away myself. You know, so yeah, man. So I'm putting a lot into this. And I can't wait. I can't wait to share it with the world.
That's awesome. I did tell you half an hour, and I know we're a little bit over that.
Oh, but dude, it's fine. It's okay. I'm okay right now. I'm on the radio, but I have a couple. I'm all right.
Well, just give me. I know I'm trying to do the timeline, but would you have been able to interview Pantera as Pantera at some point?
Dime and Vinnie came by, and that was in. It was 2000 when they came by, and they came by in December, I think. It was at a time I had started at Sirius in September of 2000.
Okay.
So Dime and Vinnie came that winter, but I was on vacation in Arizona, and it was the trip back to Arizona. I had it scheduled, plane tickets and all that. And then my boss at the time was like, hey, dude, Vinnie and Dime are coming. I was like, what? But I wouldn't have interviewed them at that time because I was so new. My boss would have. Yeah. And my boss did. I did get an autograph signed to me from the Abbott brothers on a gloss, one of those 8x10 glossies, a Pantera one, which I still have. It's at my studios in Seal Beach. But yeah, I wasn't there. So the time that Damage Plan, they didn't do a press run, at least in New York City. We didn't have the chance to interview Damage Plan, and then what happened. Right. So I never interviewed Pantera ever. So as Pantera, I mean, right. All the three members, Rex, Phil, and Vinnie, many times, but not as the band. So I missed out on that, but I was able to see them a bunch and, you know, just be a hardcore fan for them before I was in a position like, you know, that I'm in now. But then again, this was 20 years ago, man. Yeah. So didn't have that chance.
Too bad, man. Yeah, I was trying to think of maybe college radio. I know you were doing that in Memphis.
Yeah, no, man, I never got that chance. You know, a lot of times, dude, they were so big during that time. Like, I was a tiny little college radio station in Tucson. We were a half a watt. Dude, my nose hair clipper has more wattage than our radio station does or did at the time. And so, you know, we were on the low priority spectrum. You know, I think I definitely put a request in for that band and so many other bands that were huge. The biggest band that I interviewed in college radio was Testament, and Chuck Billy was the nicest motherfucker to me. Yeah. We're still so close today, but I remember I was in college radio and went to the Best Western in Tucson, Arizona after the Testament set, and they ordered pizza, and we followed the pizza guy to their room, and they knocked on the room, and I was like, oh, fucking Chuck Billy answered. So I knew where they were staying. And I had my little Radio Shack micro cassette recorder. And I said, hey, Chuck, can we do an interview? He's like, yeah, man, you know, do you want to smoke weed? And I was like, yeah. And then you want to drink? And he gave me a Foster's beer. Nice. We smoked hash out of his metal pipe. And we did this little interview on my micro cassette recorder, and he treated me like gold. A little half a watt station, metal director, DJ, and he treated me so freaking cool. But I definitely tried to get with the bigger bands. But again, you know, we were a tiny station.
I think we've talked about this, but I think we met on the Fear Factory bus in Memphis.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking that if that was the show, I'm thinking it was Fear Factory, System of a Down, Spine Shank, and Head PE, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, God, System of a Down, so awesome at those shows.
Oh, I love that. And that must have been what, 99, 98?
Yeah, somewhere 99, 98, Obsolete Tour, I think. Yeah,
it had to, yeah, because I moved to Memphis in August of 98.
Yeah.
So it must have been 99, because that's when I was at the radio station and doing stuff there. And I moved in February of 2000 to New Jersey. So I was only there for like a little less than like 2 years or so.
Wow.
So yeah, man, but we go back a long ways, and it's cool. You know, I saw something, what was it? I think it was, there was some performers jamming outside the New Daisy Theater, but it's called something else now.
Oh,
and it was like on major television. And I think it was Justin Timberlake or something. And I was like, that's the New Daisy Theater. Like, my wife was like, that's Memphis, that's Beale Street, you know? So yeah, I used to live right behind the New Daisy Theater, man. So that's where that Fear Factory show was, man. So
were you at the Coal Chamber Machine Head Slipknot?
Yes,
show?
yes, the Living La Vida Loca tour. Yes.
I've talked about that show so many times, because it was sold out, and there was billions of people, kids in there, like everywhere, for Slipknot. And then after Slipknot, it was like part of the crowd left. And then after, I think Machine Head was next, and then Coal Chamber went on to like a half-packed crowd. It's like one of the first times I've ever really seen like an opener walk a crowd, and like everybody was there for Slipknot. It was insane.
I was talking about that show and that tour recently as well. I thought Slipknot were the headliners, but they weren't. No, yeah, they were the openers, right?
Yeah. Amen. It was Amen, then Slipknot, then I think Machine Head, then Coal Chamber. But yeah, it was crazy. Like by that time, Coal Chamber and Machine Head were done. Like, you know, Slipknot was the cool new thing. Everybody was on board, man.
Dude, yeah, that was the big show, man. And I met all the guys there, and yeah, that was a big show. That was the second time I had seen Slipknot, because the first time I saw them on the second stage of Ozfest, and I drove over to St. Louis to go to that Ozfest, because that was close to Memphis, sort of, and 4 hours or whatever it was, 5 hours, yeah, I think. And I went over, and that's where I saw Slipknot. And that's where I met them for the first time, and then I saw them again afterwards at the New Daisy in Memphis. So yeah, man, it's all coming together, man.
It's too cool.
Full circle.
Yeah, back in the day when, you know, you could just, because I was living in Nashville at the time. Memphis is like 3.5 hours away, but we're just like, we're going, you know, like back when you could just jump in the car and go with no, no throw caution to the wind or whatever.
Yeah, man, we used to have a lot of shows in Memphis, but now I don't really see any metal shows ever going to Memphis that much anymore. Now they're hitting Nashville, you know, before they go to Memphis. But we used to have a good metal scene out there in Memphis for a little while, man. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. Times. Yeah. New Daisy was a great place to play and a great place to see shows.
I love it. Love that place, man. Shout out to Mike Glenn. I know he was a maniac, but he was always really cool to me. He used to own the New Daisy. I don't think he owns it anymore, but yeah, he was pretty cool.
Well, Jose, man, thanks for taking the time today. I will throw the GoFundMe in the show notes, all that fun stuff for you.
Thank you, man.
Try to get some more donations to that.
Yeah, and listen, let me just be very clear. This is like my radio station for big bands was the low priority. This is a low priority. You know, obviously for the world, if we're talking real life, you know, there's so much important stuff that needs to be fixed, and people can help with organizations that really do so much good for our communities, especially during this time. And so I am not in any ways trying to be like, hey, you know, we need charity over here.
Right.
It's not that. It's not anything like it. I'm trying to do something that I could never afford to do by myself. I want to do this for the community, and I want to make everybody that donates a part of it.
You're right.
So it's not like, hey, give me money, thanks, bye. Like, no, give me money, and look at your name's right there. You know, it's going to be an alphabetical order, and people are going to be able to see this. I'm going to post pictures, and it's just something, you know, again, what am I supposed to do with this Pantera limo? Trash it, you know, or do what most people say, sell it, get rid of it, and get a used one? Like, no, I can't. I got to do this for real. So I'm doing this, and we're getting closer, man. We're like the Hell Yeah song says, it's just a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Terry Glaze, and you're listening to Drag the Waters
with Joshua.